Everyone, we are all welcome to ATP Live this morning. You're welcome. You're welcome to ATP Live. As usual, you know our normal routine. We have one topic or the other to discuss about. So today we'll be discussing about child nutrition. I know parents are always worried. What should my child eat? What should my child not eat? But today we'll be speaking on child nutrition, and our speaker today is Dr. Gbemisola Boyede. Dr. Gbemisola, we welcome you this morning.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to ATP Live. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for joining us. And I think we're discussing one of the topics that everyone likes us to talk about, and that is child nutrition. When we look at some of the questions we have, we found out questions about child nutrition is one of the commonest one we get on ATP Live. And so that is why today we're going to be talking about it. So we're very happy for you we are very excited for you to join us this morning. So kindly drop your questions for us, and then we will begin to address them. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yes, ma. Welcome, ma. Thank you for this. What is child nutrition? Because most parents get confused on what type of diet should I give my child. I can't go through the stress of giving balanced diet. What do you mean by balanced diet? Must I give the 6 classes of food I know, or what? So kindly explain to us, ma.
Okay, so once again, I always talk about the 2 most important things when it comes to the health of children, or 2 major things that make children different from adults. And one of them is when we talk about children growing, and that is nutrition. And at the same time, we also talk about children development. So those are the two major things that are very unique to us when it comes to pediatrics. So we talk a lot about nutrition, and we also talk a lot about development. So today we are going to be talking about nutrition, and nutrition simply is just about feeding your children. That's all it's all about. What kind of food? Because children needs to grow, and one of the things that they require to grow is food. And so that is all nutrition is all about. And if you all remember what I always say, that we in pediatrics, we don't have a uniform group of children. So when you talk about adults, everybody is like the same and all that. So it's always the same thing. But in children, we have children different. So we have different age categories of our children. So we have children from who are born today, and we have children up to the age of 17 years, 11 months. So they are quite different. So definitely, it also means that the kind of food that we give them is going to be different as well. So that's why it's important for us to talk about nutrition in children today. So thank you so much to everybody who is joining us. I can see all your comments. Thank you so much. What I'll do is I'll kindly begin to share your questions for us. And then if you have questions about child nutrition, kindly drop it under the video and we'll answer them. And for those, I can see a lot of our moderators coming on. So if you have questions on our watch party, kindly help us to bring them over uh, to the video itself properly so that we can feature the questions and we can answer them. So while we're waiting for your questions to come in, I will go ahead and begin to talk about some other, just some general principles when it comes to nutrition. I hope that is fine. Um, so when it comes to nutrition, uh, I'm going to break the children into the various categories. And for those who are very familiar with HCP, you know our divisions, how we classify children. So we have the neonates, which are the newborn babies, 0 to 1 month, and then we have the infants, 1 month to 1 year. We have our toddlers, 1 year to 3 years, and then we have our um, preschoolers. That's from have our school age children from 6 to 12. Then we have our teenagers. So those are the various categories which we classify children. And usually most people struggles with the newborns and the infants and maybe the toddlers. Most of the nutrition issues are around that age category. That is where most parents struggle. So it may look like we talk more about those particular age group. It's not because we want teenagers, those are the years where parents actually struggles when it comes to child nutrition. So when it comes to nutrition, from the first 6 months of life, I'm not going to do an overview before we begin to take the questions. So for the first 6 months of life, what is it? So we in the ACP and all the institutions, we advocate for exclusive breastfeeding for all children in the first 6 months. So that's what we recommend that you do. And after the 6 months, what we call complementary feeding. And now complementary feeding means that it is complementary in the sense that you are still giving the child breast milk, but you are not giving all those things along with the breast milk. So you are giving breast milk, but you have started adding other foods because breast milk alone is no longer sufficient to start baby. And so, and the goal for us is that by the time a child is getting to 1 year, 2 years, they should be completely on the family diet because we want you to stop the child, stop breastfeeding by 2 years. And by the time you're stopping breastfeeding by 2 years, then the child goes completely to eating what every other person in the family is eating. That's the issue from the household cost. And so that's what we want. At the same time, we need to remember that children are still growing. And if you have been following it people life, we've been talking about development. Sometimes we talk about brain development as well. So because children are still growing, we are very, very conscious of the kind of food they need. So they need food that will make sure that their brain grows and all that. And children generally are growing. So until they get to puberty and all that. So they need food for growth, and they also need food for the energy, because both of them, they're also very active, and they also need things that will make their brain develop properly, because the brain development is so crucial in the first 5 years of life. And if anything happens and there's impact on the brain, for the rest of our life, that the reason why we want that the nutrition is not just, it's not about feeding the tummy of the child. That's the important thing. It's not just about feeding the tummy of the child. It's about making sure that we do food that will fulfill these three major things I talked about. Number one, for the child to grow, because the child needs to grow to be bigger, to be stronger, to be taller. And as number two, to make sure that the child has uh, energy to do all the activities, because they run, they walk, they play. And number three, for the brain also to grow. So, I mean, for the brain to develop properly, because without the brain, the child's ability to develop skills to live in this complex world and society will be affected. So those are the things that nutrition is supposed to address. And also nutrition also with what we call it now, the child's immunity, ability to fight infections. So those are the things that we're talking
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
about. So we
Thank
start
you,
to
ma'am.
talk about
Okay. I think we have a question now. What food can I give? Fundola is asking, what food can I feed my 9 month baby that is on the weight apart from pap? So I think these are constant questions parents give my child pap because they can't go through the stress of making varieties.
Okay, so let me address that question thoroughly. Number one, I'm happy she asked the question because it's addressed one of the fundamental myths that we need to deal with. So when we talk about nutrition or complementary feeding after 6 months, so the first 6 months, the mothers get it that it's breast milk. But after 6 months, then the child needs to go on to complementary feeding, and that is when you need other food. And fat is not the only thing that is coming. So remember what I just said, that the food are for different things. It's for growth, for energy, for brain development, for fight, uh, that is energy. So we need to say what, so for example, energy giving food. It's just an energy giving food, and it's also energy giving. So before we develop protein energy, protein malnutrition. So there's the thing that we develop like a and you can see already from what you said that your baby is on the way. Because if you're giving pap alone, your baby is not getting the protein, it's not getting the bodybuilding food. One of them is really protein. That's why you can't just give pap alone to your child. So what we say is that you need to that addresses all the various um, things that we're talking about that and there's no one food that will address all these. So you need to bring in together combination.
Okay.
You need the bodybuilding food, you need the food for brain development, and you need food for immunity. So that is what food class. So we have the classes and we have the those things that the first sometimes we have the vitamins, the so you need to make sure that you teach your child that all those areas are happy. I know sometimes this sounds very confusing to parents, but they don't know what the areas are. You can because what I just talk about are the nutrients and stuff. But when we talk about food plastic, so you have things like grains and cereals and vegetables, they give you. So they are the ones that are the bottom of the food pyramid and they should be overlooked because children are very active and all that. But you also have the next pyramid. Those are the bodybuilding food. Those are actually protein. So you get that from things like animal food, fish, meat, some plants as well, like beef. like granules, like soya, like those are things that are like protein source. So you also need to add that as well. Also, we talk about dairy products. Dairy products also provide protein, they also provide carbohydrates. So things like milk, things like cheese, yogurt, those ones you must also be part of your child's diet. Then you also have things like fruits and vegetables. These are things that help with the body's systems and digestions and immunity. So your child must also eat fruits, vegetables, and all that. You may not need them as much quantity as the pap, but you also still need that. Then as a tip, just start fat and oil. So your palm oil, your vegetable oil, all those oil, butter, and things like that. So when we say that, there's what we call a food plot. So the concept of a food plot is so the concept is uh, have that food plate is divided into all those six portions. So each of those portions of the food, so there's a portion for the carbohydrate, there's a portion that is supplying the energy, there's a portion supplying the meat, there's a veggie portion. So if you give your child food to the consciousness of the food plate and making sure that every other part of the person are part of it, you find it very easy. Now coming back to the question last question, so your organic from your pap, you can make your pap to contain all those things. So you start with your pap, which is your carbohydrate. You can blend crayfish, you can blend granules to add it to your pap. You can break an egg into your pap, that is protein. The fish, the blended crayfish, that's protein as well to add it. You can put a little teaspoon of palm oil into your pap to make it. That's three classes already in your pap. Then you can now give milk. You can that is dairy product. So that's another. That's like four already. Of course, you mix it. Then when you're giving the pap, you can blend something like even banana, like a clove, or you can just give the child to eat that separately from the pap. So that is how we make it. So if you do that, but what most mothers do is to give just a plain pap, and they give it morning, afternoon, and night. Then that is why the children have malnutrition. And so what you need to do is as a mother, you need to be very creative. And I always tell mothers that all the food in your kitchen that you eat, you can use it to feed your child. The only difference is that when the children are about 9 months, they need porridge like semi-solid, right? Because they can't easily swallow solid. So you need something porridge like for them. So that is why so it's about the taste test, but it's not about the taste test. So like from 6 months. So people do ask me, can they eat seba? Can they eat semo? Can they eat? There's no food they cannot eat. But and smoother in the beginning. But by the time they're getting to age of 1, then you can begin to take more solid food. So basically that's so in that question I've tried to answer many questions people are still going to ask me. So I hope you can answer. Some people are saying they can't hear me clearly. Okay, this is network. Okay, so let's just go on because of our time. If you can hear me clearly, let me know, because some people saying they can't hear me clearly. I just want to know whether it's that person's network or it's mine. Can you go on with the next question? Can we go on with the next question, Felicia? Okay, it's like I've lost Felicia there. Okay, I will go on while Felicia joins me. So the next question, can you read the next question for us?
I just took please, I learned serious like bombs and for please. So we give canned food, packed food, and all that now.
Anyway, so there's, like I said, you can just there's no that statement is not true. Number one, that statement is not true. But what is important is for you to know that you can't just give only one only one food to your child. So you can't buy this particular product in the market and you're giving your child a particular product, and then that's the only thing you're going to give your child morning, afternoon, and night. That's the mistake. You're not supposed to just buy one product and that's what the child eats all day. So you can use that product and add other things to it. You can add your fruits, you can add your protein, you can add your milk, you can add other things to it. And then when you give something in the morning, in the afternoon, do another make different food. Not that it's the same food every time. No, that's what we're saying. So variety and creativity, they are very crucial. All right. I hope that helps because I think I've answered the questions before. All right.
Okay, before another question comes in now.
Just let me know. Okay, so Afalake Olaiton is asking what kind of food can be given to a 22-month-old child that doesn't like to eat and make him fat weight. So mother likes to ask that question a lot. There's no special food for anything. There's no magic food that once you give to your children, they start to fat weight. There's no magic food that you give to a child who doesn't like to eat. There's nothing magical. You just need to keep trying and knowing what your child likes and make sure that you still have enough variety out of what your child likes to give the child. That's the most important thing. So all the food all the food have different food, they are doing different things. The most important thing is that you give your child all the mix. That's what I think by the food plate concept. Your child must eat at least four. Every time your child is eating, there must be at least four different classes of food in their plate, including water. That's the important thing. So there's no magical food for anything. There's no magical food. And there's no product, there's no drug as well. That maybe when you buy this drug or you buy this food, then your child begins to eat magically or begin to add weight. It's the same principle you're going to follow. You must use the concept of your food plate. You must make sure your child is eating at least four out of the food classes at every point in time. You must make sure there is variety. It's not the same thing you give them morning and night. That's why the children are tired. That's why they don't want to eat the food. You are using the same product that you bought in the market morning, afternoon, and night. Like you yourself, won't you be tired if you are the one? So, I'm sorry to bust the bubble. There's no shortcut. You just got to do it patiently and persistently. I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Benny. Thank you.
On to the next.
Okay, the next one is by Iwoma. I'm having the same problem. My 7-month-old baby isn't eating anything. I don't want to take breast milk anymore. Not even baby food or the like. Not even pap or anything. Struggle to think. She take crying.
Okay, so let me just answer that question because I think your network is really a bit draggy. Shulamite, you need to be patient. You need to be persistent. I think mothers learn to give up quite soon. So they give a child one food today, this minute, and the child refuses that food. And as far as most mothers are concerned, that's the end of that. Then the next minute, they're going to look for another food. That's not the way to do it. So you give your child a food now, the child doesn't like it, that's fine, just leave it alone. You have to give that food again, maybe another 1 or 2 hours. You have to give it again. Before you can say a child has refused that particular food, you must at least try it for like a month, a week. You must have tried consistently. You must have given that child that food maybe up to 10, 20 times. You must have tried it consistently for like a week before you give up on that particular food. So most parents are because I see some people will tell me their baby is just 7 months old and they will tell me they've tried all the food in the world. And I'm like, in a 1 month period, how could you have tried all the things and your child is not eating? So, and exactly that is Shulamite. I even just thought that's exactly what you're saying. Your baby is 7 months. For crying out loud, your 7-month-old just started complementary feeding 1 month ago. Another problem is that parents start early to introduce complementary feed. And I tell them there's no advantage. There's nothing you are going to earn. There's no award for trying to start early. Your baby's tummy is not ready before 6 months. These are things based on research. So wait patiently, especially breastfeed to 6 months. After 6 months, that is when you now begin to try complementary food. And if you we have a very nice unit course on breastfeeding and breastfeeding on Paediatrician Facebook group. Please go and watch those videos. They tell you how to go about it. For example, when you are trying a 7-month new, you are only going to give them 2 times a day. The rest of the time, they're on breast. So when you're introducing food, you are doing it gradually. You're only replacing 1 meal at a time. You're not going to push that child completely. This is a child that's been on breast milk all the time. Then you want to push them to take 6 meals of cereals or whatever, or complementary food in a day. No, that's not how it works. And that is why the children get fed, and then you begin to get frustrated and it becomes a vicious cycle. Number one, you're trying too hard. You need to be patient. You need to do 1 meal at a time, and the rest of the time you do breastfeeding. So for everyone, the baby is just 7 months old, and you sound like you fight. I thought you fight so hard because you are not supposed to do that. Your baby is supposed to just take 2 new meals in a day at 7 months, and you can just do 1 story, but the rest of the time your baby is taking breastfeed. So don't try to switch the baby like very aggressively, completely into something. And like I said, you don't give food today. And for example, when you're 3 months old, 7 months old, you give them 1 spoon. The very first time, 1 to 3 spoons. That's all, and that is okay. But the mistake mothers make is that they want the baby to finish a whole bowl of 200 as the very first time they give that child food. And if the child takes the first spoon and the child doesn't want to take the second spoon, they think that means the child has rejected the food. That is not true. The child has not rejected the food. You are the one that doesn't understand the concept or the principles of how to introduce new food. So when you're giving the child a new food, 1 spoon is enough. That's okay for that time. In another 3 hours or the next day, you can make it 3 spoons. Then before you know, you go to 5 spoons. Then later you go to 50 meals, 100 meals. There's a quantity you can also give them. So some of you just want them to finish a whole bowl, and for you, that is when they ask them. No. So these are principles that mothers sometimes don't get, and this is what normally leads to frustration. And at 7 months, the mother is already saying, "My baby has rejected all food." How much that means you are not doing it properly. So what I will recommend is for all the mothers that are having this problem, because it's not something we can talk about in 1 hour on this platform. Please, we have a very beautiful unit course. It's just short videos of 5 to 7 minutes. It tells you how to start, how often to do it. If you watch it, your life will be so easy on complementary feeding. So I really want you to go and go through that, then you will get to understand better. So we'll move on now.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma. Okay, thank you, Dr. Gbemi, for that. Okay, Ebere is asking, my baby of 1 year and 10 months doesn't eat any other thing except baby cereal.
Because you did the wrong thing. See, your baby doesn't know what is called baby cereals. It is what you give your child that your child knows. So when you started, you were giving only baby cereals. Now you want to teach the child. But if you have started and you started with cereal with other things, and the next meal, it is not cereal, it's something else, your baby will know other things. So what you need to do is to go back and make sure that your child has those because now your baby is actually at the age when your child should be taking what's it called? Your baby should be taking adult food. By 1 year, the child should be eating from the adult food. But because you were not really doing the you were giving only cereal for 1 year. Now you want the baby to start food. Right from the time you start 6 months, that is the time your baby should have been having the okay. So you just keep trying. Some people cannot hear me well. I don't know. I'm really shouting here. I don't know whether it's a nice bug. Okay, somebody say I can hear you. Thank you. I want to be like I'm the only one that is trying. Okay, maybe those of you that cannot hear me, don't worry. You can watch the video again and see. Maybe the recorded version may be better. Okay, let's move on.
Adeoye is, well, Adeoye is asking. She said, "Good morning, ma. Great job. Please help a worried mom. My baby is 6 months today. She started feeding well from birth. That's breast, but her consumption has gone down drastically. She's always eager to eat with us, though. I have introduced Nutribomb 4 days ago. She hardly takes it, and I can tell that she is starving. My 2-year-old plus is not really into food, but he likes drinks, biscuits, and the likes, and is too skinny for my liking. Please, what can I do for both of them?"
Okay, number one, you see, okay, so let's start with the 2-year-old because number one, when you go and watch those one nutrition units on complementary feeding, you will also know we talk about giving children junk food. Most parents, you give your children junk food full of sugar, full of pastries and stuff, and then you wonder why they don't want to eat food because you're giving them alternatives. And when their tummy is full, they don't know that this is not good for them. So all those biscuits, all those pastries, all those things you don't buy in the shops that you think you are treating the children, you're actually doing them a lot of harm. Please stop giving your children those things. That's what we recommend. Let your child eat food. Number two, skinny or not skinny, I don't work with that. I actually work with the weight of the child. So you really need to tell me the weight of a 2-year-old for me to know because not everybody is going to be chubby. And I know mothers like their children to be chubby, but it's not every child that's meant to be chubby. But we talk about what is the healthy weight of that child. So I really need to know the weight. If the weight is fine, we're fine with that. But obviously, your child is not eating well. There's nothing like the child. We have what we call fussy eaters. Definitely, children who don't like eating much, but sometimes they are still eating enough for their weight, and there will still be things they like. So for them, what we recommend is that walk around what they like. Make sure what they like, they eat much of that, but they must still eat variety. It's not like they should just only eat one food all the time. They must still eat variety. You need to work with that. Now your baby is just 6 months, so you just started 4 days ago and you're already complaining because that's what I'm telling you. Most mothers, the way you start, number one, what you started with is not what you start a 6-month-old on. Reason why? Because that product is a combination of cereals and it is wrong. Because if your child should react to them, you won't know which one your child is reacting to. So it's better to start with one plain product at a time. So if you are starting with rice or you're starting with maize cereal or whatever, it's better you start with one at a time. And like I said, which is what I would say, people should go and do that nutrition unit course. You should do it before you even get into it to make your life very simple. When you're starting a 6-month-old, you are replacing one meal at a time. You will give one meal and the rest of that day is this breast milk. And the very first time you're giving that child that first meal, you give 1 spoon. That is all. Then the next time you make it three spoons. That is how it's a gradual thing. So you don't just give them 100 meals or 200 meals of this thing at a time and expect them to jump onto it. That is not how it is done. And that is why it will look as if the child is rejected. And then why is your child starving? Your child is 6 months, so you should still be breastfeeding. You were giving breast milk before, so you're not supposed to stop your breastfeeding. That's another thing we need to understand that. Complementary feeding is complement. It complements breast milk. You are not stopping. So if your baby is still taking breast milk as it was taken before, your baby cannot be starving. So it's not supposed to like, yay, thank God breastfeeding is over. I can now start, the baby can now eat something. No, because if your baby is sick, so it just seems like you are trying to start adding something on top. You are not supposed to reduce the breastfeeding. You're not supposed to reduce the quantity of how often you breastfeed or whatever you seem to be doing milk feeding. You're not supposed to reduce any of those. You're supposed to keep giving the two, but now gradually adding extra. And so you're not taking breast milk away. Your baby should not be starving if you are still doing your breastfeeding. But you are gradually adding your cereals. And I've told you how to go about it. And for those of you who are still struggling, you really need to go and do the unit. So we'll move on.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for that, ma'am. Okay, I think Area Yeni is asking, please, my 5-year-old boy doesn't take meat and fish, only egg. Please, what can I do for him to take this and get the nutrient from it? And also, is it the meat or fish itself that has nutrients, or the water from it, because my second child will chew and throw the flesh out. Thank you, ma.
Number
Yes.
one, children have allergies. Because allergies children have big allergies. So that's the problem. So it's very important that your child has to take all the variety of food. So make do what your child likes.
Yeah.
So that's number one. So the child is taking egg. Hallelujah. At least you have something to work with.
Yeah.
Number one. Then number two, there's also a principle of hiding food. So for children that don't like a particular food, and it's not because they are allergic to it, you can hide it. So for example, your child doesn't like fish. You blend your fish. You cook it into your porridge. The child will not know the child is eating fish, but yet the child is eating fish. Your meat, you can blend it, you can do anything, and you use it to cook your food. Your children will not even know. By the time they're eating the food, they are eating the meat, they are eating if you make like a wedu, for example, and you've already blend your fine meat like round beef. There's some people even sell it like that. You put it inside it, and the child eats this. The child doesn't even know that he's eating that. So those are another strategies that you can use for children that don't like some particular milk. Those are things you can use to help them. It is the food itself that contains the protein, the nutrients. So it's not the water. Of course, depending on your method of preparation, some of it will seep into the water. So it's important that your children swallow the meat itself, not just the water. Of course, in the process of chewing, there's some digestions occurring, and some of them would have taken some of them, even with the water, but they still need to learn. So for those kind of children, the best way is you can make it very finely chopped. Like if you cook your fried rice and you put like liver, for example, if you cut it very tiny pieces, the children will easily eat it and swallow it. But if you give them a big chunk of meat, it can be very difficult for them. And make sure it's well soft, well cooked, soft, and very tender for them to easily swallow. And make it into tiny pieces. That's another thing. You must understand that children, their teeth for grinding is not as well developed. So when we are making food for them, we make sure that the foods are very well cooked and they are soft and they are in tiny, easily swallowed pieces for them. So those are strategies that you can use. So I hope I've answered all your questions as well as you can.
Yes, ma. Okay, ma.
Thank you.
Okay. Iwama is asking another question again. I'm sorry, ma. I was forced to introduce complementary feeding because of our refusal to breastfeed since
Okay.
about
Okay. So
four
fine. I think okay. Don't worry. Let us move
months.
on. The person is dragging. So I've gotten the question. The doctor advised to try introducing.
Freely. Advised to try introducing Siri as she weight and wasn't either. So and could it
Okay, fine. Thank you. Should not mind. Number one, I don't know which doctor you saw, but I'm so sure the doctor is not a pediatrician. So, because if a 4 month old is not taking um, breast milk, the solution is not cereals. We have alternatives. That's what we call breast milk substitutes. So we give formula. We want you to have the best, and breast is best. Even if you look at the formula can, it is written on it that breast milk is best for your baby. The best formula in the world, they try, but they cannot replace some things in breast milk. That is the absolute honest truth. And for me, if you have that kind of scenario, the best person to see is a pediatrician. So the pediatrician will walk you through how to help your child. So that's what we would have done if you have seen a pediatrician. We'll see how to help you to make sure you can breastfeed. But if you struggle with the breastfeeding, then we can now decide to we can if there are like genuine reasons and you can't really do the breastfeeding, then we can help you with other methods to breastfeed your child, or other methods to feed your child. And the next best is not cereal, it is milk, breast milk substitutes, and that is what we would normally have given to your child. So uh, but I guess that's one of the reasons you're struggling, because you started too early. Because the reason why we don't start too early is because your baby's tummy is not ready. And that is what your child is trying to tell you guys. I'm not ready to handle this. And you guys were forcing the baby. And when you force a child to do what they don't like, then they begin to hate that process. They begin to hate eating. And that is where you are right now. So you need to now re-navigate and start afresh. And so that's why I've told you need to watch that, do that unit course. And so for now, if your baby is on formula, you can give your formula. You can keep breastfeeding as well. I don't know whether you are not breastfeeding at all or you're only breastfeeding a little. Breastfeed, and you can give your formula, and then gradually be introducing all those complementary feeding that we've talked about as well. Okay, so we'll go on. I don't know why Felicia is dropping out all the time. Uh, I'll just go on my own. Um, Hannah Amelgechuku Kadana, my 1 year keep shedding her fingernails. I don't know, that's not about today, but there's nothing wrong with the child shedding the fingernail. What do you mean shedding? Doesn't mean that it's coming out completely or it's growing long or whatever. Maybe you need to clarify. But then we're talking nutrition, that kind of a question, you can post it on our Facebook group and somebody will answer them and all that. Okay. All right. Adeoye, are you back now? You said network issue. You were talking about my 2+ child and it went off. Okay, that's not a problem. What the video is always available even after I finish talking, and then you can put your question there and then we can answer them for you. Okay. Okay. I hope some people are listening to are hearing me. Okay, because I seem to be the only word here. So if you still have questions, come and unfortunately, Omolara, I can't easily remember what is right now. So if it's your 2-year-old that was not eating food or something like that, then you may want to attend that on complementary feeding. And if you do that, that may be helpful. All right. So if there are questions on the watch party, kindly help us bring them in, and then we'll see how we can answer them as well. Okay, Felicia, you are welcome back.
Yes, ma. Thank you, ma. Ma,
Uh, for our moderators on the watch party, are there questions there that we need to address? Because of our time, I don't want to always have to rush through our questions towards the end. Yeah, I think we've answered because I think we've answered the questions in front of me here. Mhm. Okay, so I'll just start to summarize if there are no more questions, because again, the questions are so, I mean, the answers to these questions are so we've dealt with them severally. So it's like it's what we do all the time when we talk about child questions and nutrition and all that. So you can, if after this, if you have not done our what do we call it? If you have not yet done our nutrition course, then I would advise you to do it. I would advise you to do it. It will be very helpful. It will be very helpful for you. I would advise you to do that. So we have one on breastfeeding. Talk about how to navigate breastfeeding, because one of the reasons most parents struggle is because they struggle with navigating breastfeeding itself. So, like I summarized, like I did before, uh, the very first 6 months, all you need to do for your baby is to give breast milk only. That's all you need to do for the very first 6 months. So just give breast milk. Very simple, very easy, very stressless for you. And the food is the best for your baby, then all the products. And beyond that, it also protects your baby against infection, and it also protects you even as a mother. It protects you against breast cancers and things like that. So in the first 6 months of life, what you want to give to your baby is just breast milk and breast milk only. And after that, then you can now go on to giving complementary food. But when you are introducing complementary food, please do it patiently and don't force the child. It's not a replacement meal. You are supposed to keep giving the child the food, and then you keep giving the child breast milk while the child is seeking food, and you do it one meal at a time and gradually build up on it. And so I recommend that you should just make sure that you do that unit course that we have on complementary feeding, how to go about complementary feeding, when to start, how to start, what to give, what not to give. Very short videos of 5-7 minutes. It will really help make a massive difference for you on how you go about doing doing your complementary feeding. So it's very, very important for you to do that and be patient with your children. I mean, just be patient with them. Don't rush. Don't rush like, okay, I just want to, parents are always in a hurry. So they just want the children to start eating fully and all that. So just be patient. Gradually and gradually you get there. But in the process, make sure you don't give the children what we call junk food. Always make sure you give your children good food. So those are the things that we can do, and it really help our children to develop. I know most of the questions we have answered them before. Eaters, be patient with them. Just know, have like, they may not eat all the food in the world, but have like a kind of a little bit of have an idea of what they like to eat, and for those what they like to eat, you can always give them that as well, and that really help our fussy eaters. So I really want to thank every one of you for joining us this morning. Because of our time, we'll be running out. But if you still have questions about child health questions, you can go to our Facebook group and then you can drop your questions there. We always there from Mondays to Saturdays and 24 hours. And if you drop your questions, it goes through an approval process and somebody will answer your questions. So you don't have to worry if you're not able to ask your questions today, or if we have not answered your questions because we couldn't see them. Just pop them on our Facebook group. We're always there, and you can always get your answer quickly. And very soon we're going to have our Ask the Paediatrician app, an app that you can have with you that work both online and offline. You can always pop in your question there, and like most questions you ask, they are questions that other parents have asked in the past. They are questions we've answered in the past. So you will be able to, even on the go, anywhere you are, there's always your pediatrician in your pockets through the HCP app that will be answering your questions. So you don't have to worry at all about that. But if you still have questions, just head over to pop in your question there, and one of our moderators will help you. And just to let you know that this program has been brought to you by Ask the Paediatrician Foundation. So we're a foundation that is on the mission to reduce child deaths or preventable child deaths. We don't want children dying from preventable causes. So that is our mission. So one of the ways by which we do that is by making sure we educate parents and the caregivers of our children. We do that on our on ATP Life, but we also have a very massive Facebook group where you can ask your question. We have our professionals there. All child health questions, we will answer them. We also have our page, we have our website where you can go and read all the topics that are related to child health, because we believe that when parents are well informed, then they will take the right decisions about the health of their children, and then their children will not die. So we have our online forum, and like I said, we're going to have our app very soon as well. But beyond what we do online, we also do community medical outreaches. So we reach those people that cannot come online to learn. So we go to the rural areas, we go to those indigent places, and we give them health education. I mean, we also do consultation, we also provide drugs and things like that. And by the grace of God, we're going to do our next outreach in all the states of Nigeria. So just watch out for one ATP outreach in your own states and in your own community. And if you really want to be part of it and you want to support us, because you know that doing medical outreaches costs a lot of money, you can support us and you can see our account details on the group. And we're also trying to join a global giving platform, which is an international platform for raising funds. And so that will open up on the 11th of March. And for those of you who love ATP, who have always loved what we do, and you want to support or you want to touch a life, you don't want an African child, a Nigerian child to die, come on, join our team and support ATP in reaching more indigent children. We are aiming to reach like 20,000 children in the next our outreach, and we can definitely do with your support. So I really appreciate if you can join us for that. So there are many ways you can support us. You can be a volunteer. You can be a moderator on our Facebook group. You could be a volunteer at our outreaches. You could be our financial partner. You could be a financial partner that gives us as low as 1,000 naira every month just to support our mission. Or you could be a once-off donor. Or you could link up with corporate bodies. You could also advertise your products and your services on our Facebook group, on our website, on our page, on our hub. These are ways all the money that is raised on ACP goes back completely into reaching the children that are indigent. We don't pay any of our volunteers. Nobody gets paid for any services on ACP. So everything you give to us, 100% goes back into our community, into serving the poor and the indigent children of Nigeria. So I'm Gbemisola Boyede, and I'm very happy pediatrician. I'm the founder and the CEO of Ask the Paediatricians Foundation. It's been my pleasure this morning answering your questions. I'm very sorry for those of you who have, if there's poor network. I'm actually far away from home. I'm using my phone to do this ATP live, so it's quite, but I just say I must do it today. And today we also initiated our newest baby. We started what we call an ATP mobile clinic. So we are currently, as I'm talking to you, we have our team in Makoko, where we're going to go to Makoko every month to do a mobile clinic to reach those who may not necessarily be able to get health, get to healthcare facilities because of the cost, because of the money, and we're going to do it for free. So our team is currently in Makoko now. We're doing our mobile clinic there, and we're going to go to Ekpe. We're going to go to Oworo, and we're going to go to Ijegun. These are like 4 communities. We are doing a pilot project where we want to do a monthly clinic, for people, and we want to see how much impact we can make. That has been made possible through the support of Facebook Community Leadership Program grants. We are very grateful to Facebook support to it to those outside as well. So if you want to be part of it, you can see our account details on top. You can support us, because beyond that, we still need a lot of funding for our next outreach. So we really appreciate you supporting us. So thank you so much for joining me this morning. And if you still have questions, head over to our Facebook group, and somebody will be there to provide an immediate answer to your question. So have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. We're very sorry once again for some of the network challenges that we had. So you can forgive us for that. We hope to do it better next week, and hopefully I should be back home by then. So thank you so much for joining us, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.